Well, stars and stripes are fading in a world that's lost its grace. Once we stood on solid ground, now we're chasing shadows in a race. The Constitution's whispering like an echo from the past, and every promise made in ink seems to crumble oh so fast. Oh, where have we gone? When hard work was our pride, now it's just a dirty word left out on the roadside. Love used to be sacred, kept behind closed doors, but now it's just a fleeting touch, lost like so much more. We used to build our dreams with grit, hands warm from the toil of days, but now we're scrolling through our lives, lost in digital displays. Traditions fade like autumn leaves, what happened to holding tight? We're drifting further from the roots, chasing ghosts into the night. Oh, where have we gone? When hard work was our pride, now it's just a dirty word left out on the roadside. Love used to be sacred, kept behind closed doors, but now it's just a fleeting touch, lost like so much more. Raise a glass for yesterday, for honor and for faith. Let's remember who we are before we drift away. We'll stand up for our values, take back what we've lost, 'cause every heart deserves a home, no matter what the cost. Oh, where have we gone? When hard work was our pride, now it's just a dirty word left out on the roadside. Love used to be sacred, kept behind closed doors, but now it's just a fleeting touch. Let's find what we're fighting for. So let's hold each other close tonight, whisper till dawn breaks bright. Find our way back home again, with love as our guiding light.
Under the sun where the samba plays, I traded my shadows for brighter days. The ocean whispers secrets in a golden breeze. Every wave that crashes carries dreams with ease. With every step on this uncharted land, I'm shedding my past like footprints in sand. From bustling streets to the mountains so high, in this vibrant tapestry, I learned how to fly. Oh, oh, I'm chasing the stars in a brand new sky. With laughter and love as my compass, I'll try. This final adventure is calling my name. In Brazil's embrace, I'll never be the same. Colors of life paint a canvas so wide. Each heartbeat echoes where passion resides. From Rio's bright lights to the Amazon's heart, I'm weaving my story, it's time to restart. With every sunset igniting the night, I find pieces of me that were lost out of sight. The rhythm of life beats loud and clear here. In this dance with destiny, I've nothing to fear. Oh, oh, I'm chasing the stars in a brand new sky. With laughter and love as my compass, I'll try. This final adventure is calling my name. In Brazil's embrace, I'll never be the same. Storms come rolling like clouds overhead, I'll find shelter within every word that I said. For memories linger like sweet caress light, they remind me I'm home under moonlit nights. Oh, oh, I'm chasing the stars in a brand new sky, with laughter and love as my compass I'll shine. This final adventure is calling my name. In Brazil's embrace, I'll never be the same. And when storms come rolling, clouds overhead, I'll find shelter within every word that I've said. For memories linger like sweet caress light, they remind me I'm home under moonlit night. So here's to new beginnings in paths yet untold, in this vibrant land where dreams unfold. As I dance through these streets with an open heart wide, my new life in Brazil is where hope will abide.
A mesa estava posta, a comida esfriou. Uma tempestade no meu peito que eu não conseguia segurar. Palavras voaram como flechas, afiadas como uma faca. Eu chamei de mentiroso, destruiu nossa vida. Seu rosto ficou vermelho, assim como o sol. E lá fiquei orgulhoso quando soube que tinha perdido a corrida. Ele disse: filho, isso vai me machucar, mas o que machuca você? Mas naquele momento de raiva, a dúvida parecia tão verdadeira. Eu vi meus irmãos se curvarem ao seu poder. No entanto, aqui estava eu, pronto para a luta. Cada vez que eles alvejavam de volta por aquela velha porta, não sabia então pelo que ele estava lutando. Anos de frustração acumulados como uma inundação. Cada grito é um lembrete de quão longe nos desfizemos. Punho a punho e olho no olho em nosso pequeno bar da cidade natal. Mas o orgulho é um fardo pesado, isso vai te levar longe demais. Todas essas lições aprendidas estavam emaranhadas de raiva. Acho que é difícil ver o amor quando você está trancado em uma gaiola. Ele disse: filho, isso vai me machucar, mas o que machuca você? Mas naquele momento de raiva, a dúvida parecia. Eu vi meus irmãos se curvarem ao seu poder. No entanto, aqui estava eu, pronto para a luta. Por cada vez que eles rastejavam.
Cameras clicking quick. Showtime, super gringo slick. Headlines buzzing like a mix. 20 seconds, that's the fix. Short and sharp, just like a dart. Gringos answers steal your heart. In a flash, the show will start. Super shots, that's where we part. Short and sharp, just like a dart. Gringos antics steal your heart. In a flash, the show will start. Super shorts, that's where we part.
Start off early this morning with socialism, communism light, and communism. These loony leftists always go there. Someone posted a picture of a bunch of skulls with the caption, "Socialism works, just not for us." Of course, some loony leftist came back with, "Now do capitalism." I told him no, you do capitalism. Of course they can't because it's a talking point, not history. I also shared my book on the failures of socialism and communism, The Blood-Stained Banner. Some bright ones here. You probably noticed that I'm not sitting in front of the camera, with a microphone stuck in my face. I found this cool software, based on the level of viewership. I guess you guys don't want to see me sitting in front of my microphone, so I will let Zachary do my talking for me. This is from speech to text, so he is actually reading my very words. I'm just using Zachary's voice.
Cool story, bro. Now do capitalism.
No, you do capitalism. The Blood-Stained Banner. A look at the failures of socialism and communism. In a world where ideologies clash and the ghosts of history loom large, The Blood-Stained Banner emerges as a powerful exposé of the dark realities behind socialism and communism. This meticulously researched work delves deep into the myths and misconceptions surrounding these ideologies, revealing the stark truths that have shaped nations and altered lives. From the seductive allure of Scandinavian socialism to the grim legacies of communist dictatorship across the globe, each chapter meticulously dissects the failures of these systems. Explore the myth of Nordic success and uncover the historical context that debunks the notion of true socialism in these countries. Engage with a thorough analytical analysis that juxtaposes socialism and capitalism, illuminating the impact of economic systems on innovation, work ethic, and individual creativity. The Blood-Stained Banner takes readers on a harrowing journey through the 20th century, chronicling the staggering human cost of communist regimes from Azerbaijan to Vietnam. With an unflinching eye, it reveals how these ideologies often lead to dictatorship, oppression, and unimaginable suffering. As the book navigates through the labyrinth of leftist excuses and arguments for capitalism, it challenges readers to reconsider the narratives that have dominated political discourse for decades. This is not just a book for the politically inclined, it is a clarion call for anyone who seeks to understand the implications of economic systems on human lives. With a tone that is both formal and engaging, The Blood-Stained Banner invites readers to confront uncomfortable truths and fosters critical thinking about the ideologies that shape our world. Are you ready to challenge your beliefs and confront the harsh realities of socialism and communism? Pick up The Blood-Stained Banner today and embark on a journey that promises to enlighten, provoke, and inspire.
Oh cool. You can quote a book jacket. Capitalism has killed more people than all communism and socialist travesties combined and then some. The chase for power and wealth has led to so much blood. There's a book called The Death Drive, that dives into the death and blood spilled in the name of capitalism. Or a book called American Capitalism. Or Death and Despair, Future of Capitalism, or Capitalism is Killing Us, or The Black Book of Capitalism. Actually, out of all economic systems the world has ever used, socialism has the lowest death toll. The problem people have with socialism and communism, is they can't get rich. There is no place for wealth. Now what history has showed us, is when a power-hungry dictator, who is capitalist by nature, because they want wealth, runs a communist state, it ends horrifically. True communism and true socialism hasn't existed yet. But true capitalism has, and it has led to collapse of nations because of debt, wealth disparity that led to forced destruction of the government. Mixed economies are the only way to go, and with a balanced democratic leadership that represents all classes of people, minimizes damages to the people and maintains the value of their dollar without allowing too much of a wealth disparity come to fruition is where you have the longest running systems with the happiest people. But sure, push the bootlicker agenda and let us follow the way of Rome as if it was under the power of Hitler. WTF? Do you get a referral for these?
I included audiobooks for you illiterate fucks, I can't do anything more. What you said, blah, blah, blah. What everyone heard, blah, blah, blah. Page 73 Communist Dictatorship in Azerbaijan. The Soviet Occupation, 1920 to 1991. The Intellectual Journey. Unraveling the complexities of Marxist, communist, and socialist thought in modern society. Dive deep into the ideological labyrinth of Marxism, communism, and socialism with The Intellectual Journey*, a compelling exploration that challenges conventional understandings of these transformative doctrines. In a world grappling with socio-economic upheavals, this book invites readers to reflect on how historical perspectives shape contemporary discussions around justice, equality, and economic systems. Through meticulously crafted chapters, the author weaves together the legacies of influential thinkers, from Karl Marx's revolutionary ideas to the complex implementations of socialism in various global contexts. Discover how the Industrial Revolution ignited class struggles, leading to Marx's critique of capitalism, and how figures like Lenin and Stalin reinterpreted these ideas to forge their own paths of governance, often with devastating consequences. With a critical lens, the book examines the role of the Gulag system in shaping Soviet identity, the unique model of socialism under Tito in Yugoslavia, and the transformative economic reforms of Deng Xiaoping in China. Each chapter is enriched with historical anecdotes, thought-provoking analyses, and insightful quizzes that engage readers in the intellectual discourse. In an era where ideologies clash and reshape the fabric of society, The Intellectual Journey serves as both a historical narrative and a contemporary critique, encouraging readers to question the status quo. Whether you are a seasoned scholar or a curious novice, this book promises to illuminate the complexities of socialist thought and its implications for our modern world. Are you ready to embark on this enlightening journey? Pick up The Intellectual Journey today and unravel the intricate tapestry of Marxist, communist, and socialist ideologies that continue to influence our lives. It must be bliss to be as dumb as you, because most people don't even know, because well, they're dumb. World War II. From Pearl Harbor to Rio de Janeiro. In a world teetering on the brink of chaos, the echoes of war reverberate from the beaches of Dunkirk to the frozen plains of Stalingrad, and from the harrowing attack on Pearl Harbor to the vibrant streets of Rio de Janeiro. This is not just a recounting of battles, it is an exploration of human resilience, strategy, and the unexpected connections that arose during one of history's most tumultuous periods. Journey through the pivotal moments of World War II as you witness the daring evacuation of Allied troops at Dunkirk, the brutal siege of Stalingrad that turned the tide against the Axis powers, and the shockwaves felt across the globe after Pearl Harbor. But this narrative doesn't stop at the battlefield. It delves into the cultural and social impacts of the war, showcasing how even the distant shores of Brazil became a crucial player in the global conflict. With a blend of gripping storytelling and meticulous research, this book captures the essence of a world divided yet united by the common struggle for survival and freedom. Each chapter is a vivid tableau that brings to life the strategies, sacrifices, and unexpected alliances that shape the course of history. Prepare to be transported into a whirlwind of emotions and insights as you uncover the interconnected stories that defined a generation. Whether you are a history buff or a casual reader, World War II from Dunkirk to Stalingrad to Pearl Harbor to Rio de Janeiro promises to be an enlightening and thrilling experience. Don't miss your chance to understand the past and its implications for our future. Grab your copy today and embark on a journey through the pages of history. The Rise and Fall of the Roman Republic. Dive into the captivating world of ancient Rome with The Rise and Fall of the Roman Republic, a comprehensive historical analysis. This meticulously crafted book serves as an essential resource for history enthusiasts, students, and educators alike, offering a profound exploration of one of history's most influential civilizations. Discover the intricate tapestry of Rome's governance through its unique constitution, which brilliantly balanced power among various factions. From the legendary tales of Romulus and Remus to the strategic military campaigns that defined Roman expansion, each chapter presents a compelling narrative that illustrates the resilience and complexity of the Roman Republic. Uncover key themes such as the interplay between social classes, the impact of political rivalries, and the pivotal moments that led to both triumphs and tragedies. Engage your intellect with thought-provoking quizzes designed to reinforce learning and deepen your understanding of this remarkable period. Whether you are looking to enrich your knowledge or seeking a reliable academic reference, This comprehensive analysis stands out as an indispensable guide. Join the ranks of those who seek to understand not just the events that shaped Rome but also their lasting influence on modern governance. Don't miss out on this opportunity to explore the legacy of a civilization that continues to resonate through time. Add the rise and fall of the Roman Republic to your collection today and embark on an enlightening journey through history. Your post is literally a list of things you know nothing about. You notice, no one gave any facts on capitalism? I also wanted to comment on the idiots defending this stabbing suspect. I'm all for everyone getting a fair trial. This kid should get a fair trial. However, being a self-defense instructor, I have to say this: what he did is not self-defense. Trash talking and a push does not warrant putting sharp steel inside someone's body. So, if you're trying to equate this moron to Kyle Rittenhouse, you probably also don't know what your pronouns are. I don't know how it happened, maybe because I typed in expat, looking for Brazilian expats. I keep getting videos from Filipino expats, talking about the Philippines. What I realized, the only real difference between Brazilians and Filipinas, the language. Then again, it could be just women in general, they are generally crazy anyway. That's another thing I won't be doing anymore, the super gringo word of the day, based on viewing numbers. My wife doesn't even watch them, so I'm done wasting my time. After I've posted the words I already have done, it's over. I'd like to say it's been fun, but
if you're gonna argue that a 20% drop in the stock market is a good thing, please go to the bank, withdraw 20% of your dollar, and send it to me.
Then, keep in mind that you're the same people that said a 20% drop in household income under Sniffy Joe was a booming economy. Now, I wrote this paper a little while ago, but I wanted to do it on here as a video. I just didn't want to read it all. How the left became so poorly educated, but so highly indoctrinated. The political landscape has shifted dramatically over the past few decades, leading to a burgeoning divide between different ideological groups. Amongst these divisions, a significant observation has emerged regarding the left, characterized by a perceived decline in critical educational standards and a rise in ideological indoctrination.
It's not perceived.
This essay explores the roots of this phenomenon, examining the factors contributing to the left's educational challenges and the nature of indoctrination within its ranks. Through an analysis of educational systems, cultural influences, social media dynamics, and institutional bias, this essay aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of how these elements interplay to shape contemporary leftist thought. To understand the current educational and ideological landscape, we must first reflect on the historical evolution of leftist thought. The left has traditionally emphasized social justice, equity, and the empowerment of marginalized groups. However, the late 20th century saw an ideological shift influenced by postmodernism, critical theory, and a focus on identity politics. Hunter, 2020. These new doctrines prioritized certain ideological frameworks, at times prioritizing adherence to these beliefs over critical engagement with diverse viewpoints. In this context, educational institutions, where leftist ideologies proliferate, began to shift. Instead of fostering critical thinking skills, the focus increasingly turned toward ways of promoting ideological conformity. This trend raised concerns about the quality of education and the breadth of perspectives available to students, leading to a generation that may struggle with independent thought. Many argue that educational institutions have become breeding grounds for a particular brand of leftist thought. This perspective is substantiated by several trends within higher education. The overrepresentation of left-leaning faculty, particularly in the humanities and social sciences, leads to a homogeneous ideological environment. Stanger, 2018. According to a study by the Higher Education Research Institute, there has been a significant increase in students identifying as left-leaning compared to their conservative counterparts. This disparity impacts classroom dynamics, where dissenting opinions may be discouraged or even silenced, fostering an environment ripe for indoctrination rather than critical discourse. Harrison, 2021. Furthermore, curricula often emphasize social justice initiatives and critique of traditional power structures, leaving little room for alternative perspectives. Such educational practices can result in a form of education that prioritizes ideological allegiance over the development of critical analytical skills essential for rigorous academic engagement. As students are educated within this framework, their ability to engage openly with dissenting viewpoints may diminish significantly. As educational institutions increasingly emphasize certain ideological frameworks, wider cultural narratives also contribute to this phenomenon. Media portrayals and cultural products often reinforce leftist ideologies, promoting narratives around victimhood, systemic oppression, and calls for social justice. Gross, 2020. Through platforms like social media, these messages penetrate deeply into public consciousness, creating echo chambers that reinforce leftist beliefs without significant pushback from opposing viewpoints. In this environment, individuals are often exposed to curated information that aligns with their existing beliefs. Algorithms on social media platforms designed to maximize user engagement play a pivotal role in shaping ideological identity. The result is an amplification of specific narratives that further solidify leftist beliefs while marginalizing dissent. 2017. These dynamics do not merely promote traditional educational paradigms, they promote a worldview that can sometimes eschew critical inquiry in favor of ideological affirmation. An important aspect of contemporary leftist thought is identity politics, which has reshaped discussions around race, gender, and sexual orientation. While identity politics aims to elevate the voices of underrepresented groups, it can lead to a narrow focus on experiences that may overlook broader societal issues. The emphasis on identity over universal class or economic struggles has led to fragmentation within leftist movements, as individuals become more defined by their identity categories than by shared political agendas. Hayes, 2019. This fragmentation can dilute educational experiences, making it challenging to form cohesive arguments and coalitions on broader issues. Instead of cultivating an understanding of diverse philosophical foundations, the focus on identity can inadvertently narrow educational perspectives, limiting engagement with critical economic and social theories that could enrich ideological discourse. The implications of ideological indoctrination are profound. As students increasingly consume information that resonates with their politically correct views, their ability to think critically may diminish, resulting in a form of intellectual stagnation. The very foundation of education is to cultivate independent thinkers who can navigate complex political landscapes. However, when educational systems prioritize compliance over inquiry, the consequences can be detrimental. This diminishment of critical thinking manifests in several ways, including the rise of cancel culture, where dissenting opinions are often swiftly marginalized or attacked. Individuals may avoid engaging with opposing viewpoints for fear of repercussions, hindering the robust exchange of ideas necessary to a healthy democracy. Blair, 2020. This climate makes it challenging to advocate for oneself, as individuals steered by indoctrination may lash out violently against the very ideals of free speech and debate upon which academic institutions were built. The trajectory of the left suggests an increasing polarization within society, driven by both educational practices and ideological fervor. As the divide grows, those on the left may find themselves increasingly isolated within their ideological enclaves. The risk of echo chambers leads to a disconnection from mainstream political discourse and further exacerbates misunderstanding and hostility toward opposing perspectives. For the left to reclaim its historical role as a champion of progress and inclusivity, it becomes essential to address these educational challenges. By reinvigorating a focus on critical thinking and encouraging dissent and thought processes, the left can create an environment where diverse ideas coexist. This reconciliation may serve not only to enhance educational outcomes, but also to contribute to a more vibrant intellectual public sphere. In conclusion, the development of a poorly educated, highly indoctrinated left represents a complex interplay of historical, cultural, and institutional factors. While advocating for social justice and equity, the left faces significant challenges in fostering critical thinking and open discourse. To navigate the future effectively, it is crucial for educational institutions and cultural narratives to promote a more nuanced understanding of ideologies, transform pedagogical practices, and reinstate the values of inquiry and debate. Without these changes, the ideological divides will only widen, jeopardizing both educational integrity and societal cohesion. I just saw a pretty good analogy of why most parents don't want groomers in their schools. So you're telling me that you put a tax on cigarettes and ban ads on TV because you think those commercials will make kids want to smoke, but you're saying kids hearing about gobbling cock every day in their schools won't push them to identify as being gay? That's what you're saying. Another point of contention, they will constantly claim that the church is indoctrinating children with religion, but somehow the books about them gobbling cock isn't. I want them to explain that to me, or they need to do away with all those laws. For example, I have to be 18 years old to buy a Hustler magazine. I read excerpts from some of the books that they're putting in your school libraries. They actually make Hustlers seem pretty tame. Since I stumbled across this software, I was thinking, if it works well, people like it, I may actually do classes for Portuguese so they can learn to speak English. I've already written a book on how to come to America legally. Most of us conservatives have no problems with legal immigration, especially if you have skills, like being a nurse. Thanks to Sniffy Joe, we need nurses because they didn't want to get the hokey pokey, go to America. I was thinking about maybe putting together a class or some basic English, online classes on customs and laws. For instance, Brazilians don't celebrate Thanksgiving. That's because most of the Europeans haven't left. As a matter of fact, they've let in Japanese, Chinese, more Europeans. So I do kind of get a laugh when the loony left call me a racist. I live in a more diverse environment than they do. I will guarantee where I live in Brazil is more diverse than their universities. However, we'll see how it works out. If it turns out good, maybe I'll start doing classes.
Desde que me deparei com este software, fiquei pensando, se funcionar bem e as pessoas gostarem, talvez eu dê aula de português para que aprendam a falar inglês. Já escrevi um livro sobre como entrar legalmente nos Estados Unidos. A maioria de nós, conservadores, não tem problemas com imigração legal, especialmente se você tem habilidades, como ser enfermeiro. Graças ao Sniffy Joe, precisamos de enfermeiros porque eles não queriam pegar o que ir para os Estados Unidos. Eu estava pensando em talvez organizar um curso ou algum inglês básico, aulas online sobre costumes e leis, por exemplo. Os brasileiros não comemoram o Dia de Ação de Graças. Isso porque a maioria dos europeus não foi embora. Aliás, eles deixaram entrar japoneses, chineses e mais europeus. Então, eu meio que rio quando a esquerda maluca me chama de racista. Vivo em um ambiente mais diverso do que eles. Garanto que onde moro no Brasil é mais diverso do que suas universidades. No entanto, vamos ver como funciona. Se der certo, talvez eu comece a dar aulas.
Loony leftists, riddle me this. If tariffs are so bad for the economy, why have 170 other countries had tariffs on American products for decades? The debate over tariffs is a long-standing topic in economic discourse. Critics of tariffs often argue that they harm the economy by raising prices for consumers and disrupting free trade. However, the persistent use of tariffs by over 170 countries on American products raises crucial questions. If tariffs are indeed detrimental, why have so many nations maintained this practice for years? This essay will explore the complexities surrounding tariffs, the rationale behind their implementation, and their implications for both domestic and international economies. Tariffs are taxes imposed on imported goods. They primarily serve to protect domestic industries from foreign competition by making imported goods more expensive. Economists consistently argue that tariffs distort market dynamics. When tariffs are implemented, they lead to higher prices for consumers and can result in retaliatory measures from trading partners. Moreover, tariffs can create inefficiencies in the market, as resources are not allocated optimally. Businesses may become complacent with local competition, hindering innovation and reducing the overall competitiveness of domestic industries. In a globalized economy, many industries rely on international supply chains. Tariffs can disrupt these chains, causing delays and increased costs. For example, the American steel industry has been a frequent target for tariffs. While the intent is to protect American steel manufacturers, it often leads to increased prices for industries that rely on steel, such as automotive and construction, ultimately harming consumers. Despite the negative economic implications associated with tariffs, many nations, including over 170 countries, have successfully utilized them for various purposes. One essential reason is the protection of emerging industries. Developing nations often use tariffs to shield nascent industries from established foreign competitors. By imposing tariffs, these countries can foster local businesses, create jobs, and build a sustainable economy. The infant industry argument posits that the temporary protection through tariffs can allow domestic industries to grow to the point where they can compete on a global scale. Tariffs can also be employed as tools for foreign policy. In times of geopolitical tension, countries may impose tariffs on each other's goods to exert pressure. For instance, the United States has strategically placed tariffs on Chinese products as a response to trade practices deemed unfair. By leveraging tariffs, nations can negotiate better trade terms or address broader geopolitical issues. Additionally, tariffs may offer a source of revenue for governments. While some economists argue that consumption taxes are preferable, tariffs provide a direct method for generating funds. In many developing countries, tariffs form a significant portion of government income, which can be reinvested into public services. The prevalence of tariffs on American products can often be attributed to historical and economic factors. The United States has, at times, maintained a trade surplus in specific sectors, inciting reciprocal action from trading partners. Countries may impose tariffs to balance trade relationships and protect local jobs. For instance, European Union nations have long placed tariffs on American agricultural products, aiming to support their domestic farmers. The economic environment plays a crucial role in tariff policy. Countries facing economic challenges may view tariffs as a viable solution to bolster local industries and stimulate growth. For example, during economic downturns, tariffs can be attractive options to protect jobs and stabilize local economies. Moreover, the perception of fairness in trade plays a significant role in the imposition of tariffs. Many nations believe that the United States has engaged in unfair trade practices, such as subsidizing American exports. In retaliation, countries implement tariffs to level the playing field. This phenomenon illustrates how tariffs can be used not only as economic tools but also as instruments of justice in international trade relations. In recent years, tariff policies have experienced significant shifts, particularly during the trade war between the United States and China. In 2018, the U.S. government imposed tariffs on a variety of Chinese goods, citing unfair trade practices. China responded with tariffs on American products, leading to an escalation of trade tensions. This situation underscored how tariffs can become points of conflict between nations, reflecting deeper issues beyond mere economic principles. As of October 2021, the Biden administration has maintained many of the tariffs set by its predecessor while imposing a review to assess long-term trade strategies with China. This demonstrates how political considerations play a role in tariff policies. The decisions surrounding tariffs are increasingly influenced by national security concerns and the intent to protect American labor. Furthermore, the COVID-19 pandemic highlighted vulnerabilities in global supply chains. Nations recognize the importance of domestic production, prompting discussions about reshaping trade policies. Some governments may choose to increase tariffs on certain products to bolster local industries as a means of self-reliance. The pandemic has fundamentally altered how countries approach trade and tariffs, making it imperative to consider these changes moving forward. As we look to the future, it is essential to consider the potential implications of ongoing tariff policies. The debate over tariffs will likely continue as countries navigate an increasingly interconnected world. While tariffs have been historically viewed as protective measures, they can also contribute to economic instability if imposed impulsively. International cooperation may be necessary to establish fair trade practices that benefit all parties involved. Countries must also balance the benefits and drawbacks of tariffs in a globalized economy. It is crucial to explore avenues that encourage free trade while still accounting for the need to protect domestic industries. Collaborative efforts, such as multilateral trade agreements, may provide viable solutions to the complexities of global trade in the future. In conclusion, while tariffs have been criticized for their adverse effects on the economy, the question of why 170 countries maintain these measures against American products is multifaceted. Protection of emerging industries, geopolitical strategy, and historical trading relationships all contribute to this phenomenon. As nations reconsider their tariff policies in light of recent developments, finding a balanced approach will be essential for fostering sustainable economic growth.
He says posting 10 more links to books nobody cares about. It's funny that you don't realize how stupid you look. Standing for an economic system like you think it'll give you a handy under the bleachers after school. And especially funny when I gave zero indication of supporting/liking communism.
Wow, you actually tried babbling harder. How about babbling really hard next time? What major political figure assumed the presidency of Venezuela in 1999 and initiated a series of socialist reforms? I wanted to do a brief synopsis of my latest book. This one I wrote as a Yandan, 4th degree black belt. It occurred to me, we all get awarded a black belt for our karate skill, but our instructors never take us into the office and show us how to market our schools. I thought this might be a good topic for a book. Here's a breakdown chapter by chapter. Chapter 1. Understanding Kenpo Karate. This chapter introduces the foundational principles of Kenpo Karate, emphasizing its rich history, philosophy, and the importance of technique and discipline. It outlines the various styles within Kenpo and discusses how these elements contribute to both physical and mental development in practitioners. Chapter 2. Setting up an online karate teaching environment. In this chapter, the focus shifts to creating an effective online teaching environment for Kenpo Karate. It covers essential tools and technologies needed for virtual instruction, including video conferencing platforms, lighting, sound equipment, and space organization. The chapter emphasizes the importance of a conducive learning environment that mirrors the traditional dojo experience. Chapter 3. Curriculum development for online Kenpo karate classes. This chapter delves into designing a comprehensive curriculum tailored for online classes. It highlights the need for structured lesson plans that incorporate warm-ups, techniques, forms, katas, and sparring drills. Additionally, it discusses how to adapt traditional teaching methods to suit the online format while ensuring students grasp the necessary skills and concepts. Chapter 4. Engaging Kenpo karate students in an online format. Engagement strategies are the focus here, as the chapter outlines various techniques to keep students motivated and involved during online sessions. It discusses interactive activities, feedback mechanisms, and community building practices that foster a sense of belonging among students. The importance of maintaining student interest through varied instructional methods is also emphasized. Chapter 5. Marketing your online Kenpo karate classes. This chapter provides insights into effective marketing strategies for promoting online Kenpo karate classes. It covers digital marketing techniques such as social media promotion, email campaigns, and search engine optimization (SEO). The chapter also discusses identifying target audiences and building a brand that resonates with potential students. Chapter 6. Overcoming challenges in teaching Kenpo Karate online. The final chapter addresses common challenges faced by instructors when transitioning to an online format. It offers practical solutions for issues such as technical difficulties, maintaining student discipline, and ensuring safety during practice. The chapter encourages instructors to remain adaptable and innovative in their teaching approaches to enhance the overall learning experience. Overall, this guide serves as a comprehensive resource for martial arts instructors looking to successfully transition their Kenpo Karate teaching to an online platform, covering everything from foundational knowledge to practical implementation strategies. You can buy them on Amazon Kindle, Google Play, or Google Books.
Don't care. Look, since you're an intellectual tree stump and couldn't work out my point, I'll have to say it very slowly for you. And I'll do it now before you block me like that other dumb fucking hero that I made cry because I asked a simple question. If you think communism kills people and capitalism doesn't, you're an idiot. Run along and play now, I won't be coming back here.
The correct answer is Hugo Chavez. He was elected president in 1998 and began implementing socialist policies aimed at wealth redistribution and social welfare improvements. His presidency marked a significant shift in Venezuela's political landscape. What was one of the key industries nationalized by Hugo Chavez during his presidency? I want to address a matter that is not just an economic issue but a profound crossroads for our nation's future. In recent days, we have witnessed the tremors of uncertainty ripple through our bond markets, sending investors scrambling as they react to the very real implications of President Trump's tariffs. The Washington Post suggests that this is a sign of weakness, a capitulation that threatens to plunge us into recession. But I say to you, hogwash, hogwash. Let us be clear. The bond market's panic is not a reflection of Trump's failure. Rather, it is an indication of the high-stakes game he has chosen to play. This is not merely about numbers on a screen or percentages in economic reports. It's about the future we are crafting for our children and the generations yet unborn. When Trump announced those tariffs, did he do so without foresight? No, he understood the risks involved, perhaps even better than many give him credit for. He assessed potential outcomes and made his move. Yes, the bond market reacted violently, but let us not forget that turmoil often precedes transformation. Think back to what bonds represent. They are promises. The government guarantees a return on your investment. They symbolize trust and stability. When investors sell off U.S. treasuries at alarming rates, it signals fear. A fear that our economy could falter under pressure. But here's where I challenge you. Should we cower in fear? Or should we embrace this moment as an opportunity for bold action? Consider this. As auto workers face layoffs in Indiana and Michigan and stock markets see sell-offs, we must ask ourselves, what kind of America do we want to build? A complacent one that tiptoes around challenges? Or an ambitious one willing to weather short-term pain for long-term gain? Let me remind you, change does not come without discomfort. History teaches us that great leaders often face backlash when they dare to disrupt the status quo. They take risks because they believe in a vision larger than themselves. President Trump's approach may not always resemble 4D chess, but make no mistake, he is playing chess nonetheless. He strategically lowered tariffs from 25% to 10%, allowing room for recovery while stabilizing our economy amidst chaos. And let's talk about business as usual, because there is no such thing anymore. The Biden administration has shown us what happens when complacency reigns supreme, a stagnant economy with no incentive for growth or innovation. You see, my friends, if history can teach us anything, it is this. Periods of upheaval can lead to unprecedented breakthroughs if only we have the courage to seize them. We have seen this before, in times past when Americans rallied together against odds deemed insurmountable. So I call upon each one of you today, not just as citizens but as architects of our destiny, To stand firm with resolve and vision. Imagine a world where income tax becomes obsolete, a radical idea perhaps, but one worth considering given how far we've strayed from its original intent over 150 years ago. What if instead of punitive taxes stifling innovation and entrepreneurship, we fostered an environment where hard work reaps rewards without excessive government interference? As President Ronald Reagan once said, the most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." Let us remember those words today. Now more than ever it is imperative that we challenge ineffective regulations, those laws which serve only some while leaving others shackled by bureaucracy. It's time for selective enforcement practices that prioritize fairness over political agendas. Someone brought up a good point. In 2022, the market dropped 25% and no one seemed too worried. In 2025, the market dropped 9% and everyone is losing their minds. Do you think it's really about the market? I guess X and Brazil came to some agreement because I can get on X again. Spent yesterday posting links to all my books. I also did an hour-long infomercial about my books using YouTube Live. Going through the commercials I made using AI.
Trump and Elon just took $1 trillion out of the stock market and they will do it again in 90 days. That's the tariffs are about. You all are getting played.
Investing for dummies or leftists, same thing. The case for holding investments during market downturns. Investing in the stock market is often characterized by volatility, with prices fluctuating based on a myriad of factors including economic conditions, investor sentiment, and global events. One of the most critical decisions investors face is whether to hold or sell their stocks during market downturns. This paper argues that realizing losses through premature selling is often misguided. Investors can protect their long-term financial health by understanding the nature of losses, recognizing historical market recovery trends, and acknowledging psychological factors that influence decision-making. The concept of realizing losses is central to understanding investment behavior during downturns. An essential claim in this discussion is that investors experience losses only when they sell their stocks at a price lower than their purchase price. For instance, consider an investor who buys shares in a company at $100 each. If the market experiences a downturn and the price drops to $70, the temptation may arise to sell off shares to avoid further losses. However, by holding onto these shares, the investor retains the potential for recovery. Historically, markets trend upward over time. A practical example illustrates this point vividly. An investor who sells at $70 realizes a loss. However, if they choose to hold until the price rebounds to $120 after several years, they not only recover their initial investment but also gain profits beyond that threshold. This scenario emphasizes that perceived losses are not actualized until an asset is sold, an important distinction for investors aiming for long-term growth. Historical data supports the notion that stock markets tend to recover from downturns over longer periods. Notably, financial institutions like J.P. Morgan have analyzed trends indicating that the S&P 500 has shown positive returns in approximately 70% of rolling 10-year periods despite experiencing short-term volatility. This statistic highlights an essential truth about investing. Patience can yield significant rewards. The aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis serves as a poignant example of this principle in action. Many investors panicked during this period and sold off their holdings at considerable losses due to fear and uncertainty about future performance. In contrast, those who maintained their investments saw substantial gains as markets recovered over subsequent years, a testament to the resilience of equity markets over time. Psychological factors play a pivotal role in investment decisions during downturns. A prevalent claim here is that selling stocks during adverse conditions is often driven more by emotional responses than rational analysis. Behavioral finance studies reveal phenomena such as loss aversion, the tendency for individuals to prefer avoiding losses rather than acquiring equivalent gains, which profoundly affects investor behavior. For instance, consider an investor who decides to sell out of fear during a market downturn spurred by external events like those witnessed in March 2020 due to COVID-19 panic selling. Those who exited at low prices may have missed out on significant gains as markets rebounded shortly thereafter. This underscores how psychological biases can lead investors away from sound decision-making strategies focused on long-term growth. Understanding when and why to hold onto investments during market downturns can significantly impact an investor's financial trajectory. Realizing losses only occurs upon selling at unfavorable prices. Historical data demonstrates that markets tend to recover over time, and psychological factors often cloud rational judgment, leading investors toward hasty decisions fueled by fear rather than informed strategy. By resisting the urge to sell in times of turmoil and focusing on long-term objectives instead, investors position themselves not only for recovery but also for future growth opportunities within dynamic markets. I see a bunch of idiots on that stabbing talking like he probably said something racist to deserve it. So, you can get away, according to the loony left, with murder if they say something racist. If I were to go back to about 40% of my interactions with the loony left, they'd be getting the death penalty. Idiots. In a dramatic turn of events this past Wednesday, California Senator Adam Schiff took to the airwaves, calling for Congress to investigate whether former President Donald Trump engaged in insider trading or market manipulation after he unexpectedly paused a sweeping set of tariffs. This decision sent stock prices soaring and left many wondering if there was more than met the eye. Schiff's assertion comes amidst a backdrop of heightened scrutiny around the former president's financial dealings and his interactions with the stock market. The implications of such an inquiry could be profound, not just for Trump but also for how we view the intersection of politics and finance in America. Let's break down what happened. On that fateful Wednesday, after Trump announced his decision to pause tariffs, something that had been anticipated as part of his administration's aggressive trade policy, the S&P 500 surged by over 9%. This was not just a minor blip. It was a significant rally that caught the attention of investors and politicians alike. Minutes after the announcement, Trump posted on Truth Social declaring, "This is a great time to buy." This tweet raised eyebrows. Was he suggesting that individuals should invest while simultaneously influencing stock prices? Schiff is not alone in raising concerns about this sequence of events. Arizona Senator Ruben Gallego joined him in sending a letter to the White House requesting an urgent inquiry into whether Trump or members of his family might have engaged in insider trading based on non-public information regarding tariff policy changes. Schiff's determination to uncover potential wrongdoing reflects a growing unease among lawmakers about Trump's influence over financial markets. With both Democrat and Republican senators expressing skepticism about Trump's motivations, including Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, who noted that even his barber had questions about potential market manipulation, it becomes clear that this issue transcends party lines. What adds layers to this inquiry is the timing surrounding major players like Elon Musk. When Tesla's stock shot up by 18% following Trump's announcement, given Musk's vocal opposition to tariffs, it raises valid questions about how interconnected political decisions are with corporate profitability. The crux here is whether individuals at the top echelon of power can manipulate their positions for personal gain at the expense of public trust. Schiff specifically pointed out that government officials are uniquely positioned to benefit from insider knowledge, a sentiment echoed by Gallego in their joint letter asking for an investigation into any suspicious transactions related to Trump's tariff strategy. Investigating these claims could be challenging given that both key congressional committees involved, the Senate Judiciary Committee and Senate Finance Committee, are led by Republicans who have largely maintained a supportive stance toward Trump. While individual lawmakers like Schiff can initiate inquiries through their offices, they lack subpoena power, which makes gathering evidence harder. However, as Schiff has shown time and again throughout his career, from spearheading impeachment trials against Trump to his role during investigations into Russia, he is undeterred by pushback. He believes firmly in accountability and transparency within government operations, particularly when it involves figures who wield considerable influence over national economic policies. Moreover, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's explanation suggesting that pausing tariffs was part of a long-term negotiation strategy only adds more intrigue to this situation. It raises questions about whether this maneuvering was truly strategic or if it had ulterior motives tied closely with market dynamics. As we reflect on these developments, it becomes evident that we need greater transparency in our political system, especially concerning actions taken by those at the highest levels of power which can impact markets significantly. The call made by Schiff and Gallego serves as a crucial reminder that our leaders must be held accountable for their decisions, not only due to ethical considerations but also because they affect millions of Americans whose livelihoods depend on stable economic policies. While speculation may run rampant regarding Trump's intentions behind pausing tariffs, one thing remains clear. Increased scrutiny will likely follow him as Congress looks into these troubling allegations. In an era where trust in government institutions hangs by a thread, ensuring accountability will be paramount moving forward, and hopefully lead us towards greater integrity within our political landscape. Pelosi and Schiff investigating insider trading would be like Adolf Hitler investigating genocide. Someone on my Instagram posted this, and I think it speaks volumes. Hands off. Say the mob that wants to control your healthcare, your money, what you can say, your gun rights, where and what you can build, what kind of car you can buy, until the inventor of that car pisses them off, and what kind of stove you can own.
The live stream just needs one more fool to be the Three Stooges. Maybe adequately so there's one brain in the group. Every Trump supporter I'll know is still looking for food prices to come down. Trump is like the arsonist who started the fire and then wants credit for putting it out. Have you missed me, my friend?
Grumpy Farmer put up a video this morning, and as usual, it attracted the dumbest people, but this fool takes the cake. Yeah, like you hang out with smart people. You do know we can see you, right? Impact of a 20% drop in grocery prices since Trump's inauguration in 2025. The economic landscape of the United States has undergone significant changes since Donald Trump was inaugurated as president again in 2025. Among these changes, a notable decline in grocery prices by approximately 20% has emerged as a prominent development. This reduction in grocery prices has shaped consumer behavior, impacted the economy, and sparked discussions about the effectiveness of current policies. Understanding the implications of this price drop is crucial for evaluating the broader economic picture and for anticipating future trends in the grocery market. Several factors have contributed to the decrease in grocery prices since 2025. One of the primary reasons is increased competition among grocery retailers. Major chains have expanded their store formats and online delivery services, facilitating price wars that benefit consumers. Companies such as Walmart, Amazon Fresh, and Kroger have ramped up efforts to offer competitive pricing and better shopping experiences. Moreover, advancements in supply chain technology have reduced costs, allowing retailers to pass on savings to consumers. Additionally, the agricultural sector experienced a rebound from previous inflationary pressures. Innovations in farming practices, such as precision agriculture and genetically modified crops, have enhanced yields and reduced production costs. Consequently, lower costs for farmers translate into lower prices for grocery items. The result is a more stable market that provides consumers with affordable and diverse food options. The drop in grocery prices has had a profound impact on the overall economy. For consumers, the immediate benefit is increased purchasing power. Families can allocate more of their income to other essential expenses, such as healthcare and education, thereby contributing to a higher quality of life. A study conducted by the Economic Policy Institute indicated that the decrease in grocery prices has effectively raised disposable income for many American households, resulting in increased consumer spending in other sectors. Furthermore, lower grocery prices can provide a stimulus for local economies. Small businesses, such as farmers markets and artisanal food producers, benefit from increased foot traffic as consumers explore budget-friendly shopping options. This chain reaction fosters community development, enhances local agriculture, and supports employment in related sectors. The effects of the price drop can be observed through various case studies across different regions. In rural areas, for instance, the reduction in food prices has been particularly impactful. Farmers have reported increased sales, allowing them to reinvest in their operations. In Michigan, local farmers have seen a surge in demand for fresh produce, attributing this growth partly to lower grocery prices making healthier options more accessible. Moreover, nationwide initiatives aimed at improving food security have gained traction. Organizations like Feeding America have reported an increase in food donations and resources allocated to combat hunger. With more affordable grocery prices, food banks can effectively reach a broader population, providing assistance to those in need. The implementation of policies focused on food subsidies has also contributed to this decline, as programs such as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, support low-income families and promote healthy eating habits. Despite the positives, the drop in grocery prices is not without challenges. One of the concerns is the potential impact on farmers and producers. If prices for grocery items remain low, farmers may struggle to achieve fair compensation for their goods. This situation could hinder their ability to innovate and sustain their operations in the long run. Moreover, the reductions in prices could lead to a concentration of power among a few large grocery retailers, potentially disadvantaging smaller companies. This monopolistic trend may discourage healthy competition, leading to lower quality products and reduced consumer choice over time. Regulatory bodies must monitor the grocery market to prevent adverse effects on small producers and maintain a competitive landscape. Engaging in fair trade practices and supporting local businesses are essential to ensure a sustainable future for the grocery industry. As the grocery market evolves, it is crucial to consider future implications. The ongoing advancements in technology will likely continue to drive price reductions. Innovations such as artificial intelligence in inventory management and blockchain technology in supply chain logistics can enhance efficiency and further lower costs. Additionally, the trend toward sustainable and organic products is gaining momentum. As consumer preferences evolve, grocery stores are likely to cater to these demands without significantly increasing prices. The challenge will be balancing sustainability with affordability to meet consumer needs while protecting the environment. Government intervention may also play a role in shaping the grocery market. Policies focused on supporting local agriculture, maintaining fair trade standards, and subsidizing essential goods can help sustain low prices while ensuring that producers receive fair compensation. The 20% drop in grocery prices since Trump's inauguration in 2025 reflects significant changes in the economic landscape of the United States. It underscores the interplay between competition, advancements in technology, and agricultural practices. While the reduction in prices has benefited consumers and local economies, challenges remain that require vigilance and proactive measures. The future of the grocery market hinges on the ability to maintain affordability while supporting producers and fostering a competitive environment. By focusing on sustainable practices and embracing technology, the grocery industry can navigate the complexities of the modern economy, ultimately ensuring that consumers benefit from accessible and diverse food options for years to come. Did you have your bicycle helmet on or off when you typed this? Gas prices fall to lowest levels since 2022. Implications for the economy and society. In March 2025, gas prices across the world saw a significant decline, marking the lowest levels since 2022. This shift in pricing comes as a breath of fresh air for consumers, environmentalists, and the economy as a whole. The drop in fuel prices is primarily attributed to a combination of factors, including increased production, changes in global demand, and technological advances in energy. This essay will explore the benefits of this decline, discuss its implications for consumers and the economy, and reflect on potential future developments in the energy sector. The most immediate impact of declining gas prices is felt by consumers at the pump. Lower gas prices translate to reduced transportation costs for individuals and families. For many American households, fuel expenses constitute a significant part of their monthly budgets. With prices dropping, consumers benefit from increased disposable income, which can be redirected toward savings, education, and other essential needs. For example, A family that previously spent $300 monthly on gas could see that amount cut in half due to lowered prices. This phenomenon not only boosts household finances but also has a ripple effect on the broader economy. Increased consumer spending in different sectors can stimulate economic growth, benefiting local businesses and creating jobs. Falling gas prices have broader economic implications beyond consumer spending. The energy sector, particularly oil and gas companies, experiences fluctuations in profit margins during periods of low prices. While consumers benefit from lower costs, producers may face challenges as their revenues decline. However, in the long term, lower prices can also foster innovation in alternative energy sources. For instance, as traditional oil companies adjust to changing market conditions, they may invest more heavily in renewable energy technologies. This shift can lead to advancements in solar, wind, and hydro energy which contribute to sustainable economic growth. Additionally, lower fuel costs can help stabilize transportation costs for industries reliant on logistics, thereby reducing overall price levels in markets that depend on shipping. The environmental impact of fluctuating gas prices cannot be overlooked. Lower prices may encourage higher consumption of fossil fuels, leading to increased greenhouse gas emissions. However, there is a silver lining. As gas prices drop, electric vehicles, EVs, and alternative fuel vehicles become comparatively more appealing. In a period of low gas prices, consumer behavior may shift, increasing the adoption of EVs as gas aromatizes the cost of traditional fuel use. For instance, in 2024, while gas prices were still high, EV sales soared as consumers sought alternatives. With lower gas prices now, this trend could potentially continue. A reduction in gas consumption, accelerated by a rise in renewable energy sources and a shift toward electric vehicles, holds the key to decreasing the long-term environmental impact of transportation. Gas prices are often influenced by political decisions and global relationships. The recent decline can be attributed to a combination of improved relations with oil-rich countries and an OPEC+ decision to increase production quotas. As countries navigate post-pandemic recovery, they are also adjusting their energy policies, leading to shifts in market dynamics. In addition, countries that depend heavily on oil imports benefit from declining prices in terms of trade balance and inflation control. For instance, nations in Europe that have struggled with rising gas prices since 2022 can now breathe easier as reduced costs contribute to more favorable economic conditions. Conversely, the geopolitical landscape can be unpredictable. Countries may react differently to fluctuating oil prices, and tension can arise from new energy alliances or trade agreements. Continued dependency on fossil fuels poses risks as nations navigate international relations in an increasingly interconnected world. The current decline in gas prices may shape future energy market trends significantly. As the world becomes more aware of climate change and its impact, the transition to renewable energy is becoming increasingly urgent. Government policies designed to curb carbon emissions and promote clean energy will influence market trajectories in the coming years. Moreover, the success of electric vehicles and advancements in battery technology will play a pivotal role in determining future energy consumption patterns. Companies are investing heavily in electric technologies due to growing consumer preference and regulatory incentives. The transition towards electric and other renewable alternatives could lead to a reduced dependency on fossil fuels, even in times of low gas prices. It is also crucial to consider that while fluctuating gas prices can benefit consumers short-term, the long-term outlook should focus on sustainability.
That's because I'm still playing with this system and I'm not sure how to set it up.
The conversation around gas prices may shift from immediate concerns to broader issues surrounding environmental preservation. The fall in gas prices observed in March 2025 is a significant development with varied implications for consumers, the economy, and the environment. While benefits are immediately apparent to consumers, the long-term impact on the energy sector and our collective response to climate change must remain a primary focus. Policymakers, businesses, and consumers must work collectively towards sustainable practices that balance economic growth with environmental stewardship. The recent drop in prices may serve as a catalyst for change, guiding us toward a future where energy consumption aligns with environmental sustainability. As we navigate these shifts, it is imperative to remain vigilant, leveraging lower gas prices as a springboard for cleaner, renewable energy solutions. In the ever-polarized landscape of American politics, discussions around economic performance often become battlegrounds for ideological warfare. The recent claims regarding unemployment rates and inflation under the Trump and Biden administrations offer fertile ground for this discourse. Proponents of Donald Trump argue that his policies led to unprecedented economic stability, while critics of Joe Biden lament the consequences of his administration's decisions. This blog post seeks to delve into these claims, providing an authoritative analysis of the key factors that shaped economic conditions during both presidencies. One of the most frequently cited achievements of Trump's presidency is the record low unemployment rate, which reached a staggering 50-year low prior to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to various economic indicators, job creation surged under Trump's administration as he implemented tax cuts and deregulation aimed at stimulating growth. The result? A thriving job market that provided opportunities for millions across various sectors. These policies not only encouraged businesses to expand but also fostered an environment where consumer confidence flourished, leading to increased spending and investment. Moreover, the stock market experienced significant gains during this period, further bolstering perceptions of economic prosperity. Conversely, critics argue that the current administration has not only failed to maintain these gains but has also presided over rising inflation that burdens everyday Americans. With prices soaring by approximately 40% since Biden took office, many are left questioning how such a drastic shift occurred so quickly. This inflationary trend has affected essential goods and services, from groceries to gas prices, prompting widespread concern among families trying to make ends meet. The juxtaposition between the economic stability experienced under Trump and the current financial strain felt by many citizens under Biden's leadership highlights a critical point of contention in contemporary political discourse. The economic turbulence experienced today can largely be traced back to aggressive monetary policies undertaken in response to the pandemic. Under Biden's leadership, over $2 trillion was printed to provide financial relief amid widespread shutdowns. While well-intentioned, such actions have undeniably contributed to inflationary pressures that exacerbate costs for consumers on essential goods and services. This influx of cash into the economy, while necessary to support struggling businesses and individuals during unprecedented times, has led many economists to warn about potential long-term consequences, including the risk of hyperinflation if not managed carefully. Supporters of Trump point out this connection between excessive money printing and rising prices, asserting that a more cautious approach could have mitigated these effects. They argue that prudent fiscal management could have preserved the economic gains achieved prior to the pandemic while avoiding the drastic price hikes currently being felt across various sectors. In stark contrast, detractors often focus on scapegoating Trump
That's what you get when you print $7 trillion.
Without addressing how his policies encouraged economic growth without draconian measures like business closures or mandatory vaccinations. This tendency to oversimplify complex issues undermines meaningful dialogue about effective governance and responsible economic policy. A significant point of contention in this debate is how each administration managed the COVID-19 crisis. Critics have leveled accusations against Trump for his handling of the pandemic. However, it's crucial to note that he did not impose nationwide lockdowns nor mandate vaccines, choices that ultimately fell to state governments and individual citizens. This decentralized approach allowed for varied responses based on local circumstances but also resulted in a patchwork of policies that some argue led to confusion and inconsistency in public health messaging. Under Biden's administration, despite extensive vaccination campaigns aimed at curbing virus transmission and promoting public health safety, more Americans succumbed to COVID-19 than during Trump's tenure, an uncomfortable statistic for those who continue to criticize Trump's pandemic response. This raises essential questions about accountability and effectiveness in crisis management. It invites a deeper examination of how governmental decisions impact public health outcomes and economic stability in times of crisis. As we navigate through these complex issues surrounding unemployment rates, inflation, and pandemic responses, it becomes clear that both administrations have had their successes and failures. The narrative surrounding Trump's economic legacy contrasts sharply with current grievances under Biden's leadership. While Trump's era is often characterized by robust job growth and stock market highs, Biden's tenure has been marked by significant challenges related to inflation and public health management. In an era where political polarization clouds judgment, it is vital for citizens to critically assess facts rather than succumb to partisan rhetoric. Understanding economic realities, like unemployment figures and inflation dynamics, is essential for making informed decisions about our leaders and their policies. By fostering a culture of informed debate rooted in factual analysis rather than emotional reactions or party loyalty, citizens can contribute meaningfully to discussions about our nation's future direction and hold elected officials accountable for their actions in shaping our economy and society at large.
Flash, cameras clicking quick. Showtime, super Gringo slick. Headlines buzzing like a mix. 20 seconds, that's the fix. Short and sharp, just like a dart. Gringo's antics steal your heart. In a flash, the show will start. Super shots, that's where we part. Short and sharp, just like a dart. Gringo's antics steal your heart. In a flash, the show